Camera's gonna break soon, so actually, it's not really a good way to secure it at this angle. With the fucking back camera. I just wanted to post an update to talk about Bob is not here. I've been doing these on Instagram, but I've been testing the Prism program for this, and I'm fond of it. It's working good. The only thing that's not working good is this fucking stupid iPhone SE 2022. It's a piece of garbage. Anyways, I want you to know that 100% of the value in my life comes from this job right now. 100% of it, all of it. There is nothing else valuable happening in my life whatsoever. All of it is right here. It's funny because this profession is the first profession I encountered as a kid. It's the first thing I saw on like TV and movies. But that movie was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the movie opens with seeing the pizza guy driving in order. And so yeah, the very first profession I encountered as a kid in my favorite movie, like my favorite comic, is this profession. But the difference between when I started it 7 years ago and now is now I have way too many customers and I'm an actual business now. So I have so many customers, I can go ahead and get $1,000 every week if I need to, want to. I do need to, and I do want to. Because the job is incredibly the sole source of anything valuable to me in my life here at this moment. It's the only place value is coming from. Why the fuck is it not letting me switch logins? This is fucking ridiculous. I just want to switch logins. I just want to get signed in using this one. Fucking A, it's not letting me, so we're just going to have to let that one fall on the ground. So I can read the destination I'm going to. Well, the camera hasn't crashed yet, so that's a positive thing. But this camera crashes all the time. I was able to stream with it for 40 minutes this morning. Alright, looks like we need to take a left turn right here. There's a guy in my way. I have to wait for him to get out of my way. Oh, you're just going to slow down exactly in my blind spot? Well, that's, I guess, a little bit helpful. It would have been more helpful if you would just get out of my way. So I don't think that they could have imagined the profession I'm doing when thinking about that pizza guy at the beginning of that movie, and he's at the beginning of the Bro, stop. I'm trying to fucking sign in. God damn, bro. Holy shit. So I've been reluctant to like put my life on stream like this for a while, but I got over that while I was just testing things on Instagram and like just practicing, just seeing how I would do it. And so I'm no longer reluctant. Now I will put my entire life on stream, and I've been promoting this shit to my friends that I met on the other platforms. And yeah, I guess we can do that one. I finally got it to log in. But yeah, I've been telling them, so my stream is just my life. It's just a documentary about what it's like being on the romance path that I'm on. So you may have noticed I just said 100% of the value of my life is this job, which is true. And the reasons for that are complex and various. But I'd like to spend most of every day doing this during the business hours where there are too many customers. Due to the value add, due to the value gain, due to the valuable thing that it is. And when you think about the profession that it is not the pizza guy riding a scooter you see in that movie, but it is a delivering pizza profession. But I have too many customers, and I can serve a giant area. I can go anywhere out here. I can go anywhere I want. And it's fucking amazing, and I can make a ton of money. That's not like a giant number of money, but it's a number of money that I can be happy with. It's not too low as of now. It's not quite enough. I think I'm still getting paid less than it's worth, and the reasons for that are complex and various. But my fix for that is a piece of technology that is decentralized like cryptos, but is also, it has an additional aspect of deconstructing bad crust, let's say, in current consumerist economics, which we have to deconstruct necessarily in order to solve a question like, how do we make the delivery person be getting paid more of what it actually is worth to the society? Even though he's getting paid pretty good, we want to make sure that one and all the other workers who are essential, who have constant everyday value to the people of society, we need to make sure that they can get paid what it's worth. So to ensure that, I have a technology that is similar to crypto. I have named it Transitor as of right now, and its symbol in my writing is the green light and the little bus stop symbol, and then the little wrench. The wrench means fixing, like solving that something costs you money but is essential, an essential purchase. What the Transitor does is it essentially logs your presence, like you show up and scan your code or whatever, you show up and scan your Cash App, for example, your Apple Pay tag. Just like you would to board the transit, that's how you would do it. You would scan your pass. When you scan it, you've authenticated that you're there, that the work needs to happen, that it should happen. And then, as a consequence of scanning it, you receive tokens, you receive funds. And so this token generating object basically pays you for the cost of you to pay the workers around there to give you the work that they want to give. So in the spirit of the worker who wants the work to do, he wants to be working. He likes having too many customers. Like me is the metaphor for that. I like having too many customers. I love it. In fact, it's the only reason I wake up in the morning whatsoever currently. I would literally have to find something tall to throw myself off of if I could no longer have access to working all that I want with no supervision. Like literally, that's a literal fact right there. For real. Hold on a second. So I can explain how I got to the idea of the Transitor without explaining the entire history of my whole project and everything I've ever written in it, which kind of describes the Transitor, but without actually realizing the idea for a real long time. But essentially how I got the idea for it is I was thinking about how to get paid more of what is fair for going through distant destinations as a deliverer. I think the camera may have stopped, but the angle's just a little bit high, so there's nothing to see at this present moment if it hasn't. The idea of traveling out of where I am to where you are has this checkpoint feeling in it. Like I gotta pass through this checkpoint, then that checkpoint, and then the next one. And now I've arrived in the area where your drop-off is gonna happen. So as I pass through those 3 checkpoints, I feel like that town, that checkpoint is, should kind of be sending a payment to the workers who are willing to pass through it or serve in it, or perhaps just in the one you go to serve in it. It's somehow then there's an IOU that I should be sending out to them at that moment, to that place. Like your destination contains a client, but your destination is also a client in an abstract sense, bigger than just that one client. If I were to be getting paid like $2 for each checkpoint cents that isn't charged back to the restaurant or the client or a platform, but is instead owned somehow in common and paid to the worker for doing it, you've then just fixed the part that makes it kind of less worth my time, unless you personally pay me a tip to walk over 3 checkpoints over and give you your stuff over there. Like, it costs more to me inherently to go do that, to cross the time and distance, and the amount of higher risk assumed as I go. And so to get that paid for, you have to start thinking about that in terms of, well, how do you get that worker paid? How do you get that individual paid for what's going to happen or what's going to need to happen? And the answer was to use that checkpoint concept and just count their checkpoints up. Just kind of scan a toll, but I'm charging the toll to you guys. And I thought about that for a really fucking long time. I started thinking about it, and I noticed how some of my platforms started offering like $1 or a $2 boost during certain times, which I can't remember which one of those things happened first, if I thought of the idea and then realized that their thing kind of ended up being that after you think about how you're going to get that extra $2 per customer, and then all of a sudden it made sense to go drive a couple checkpoints over or whatever to spend the time and the complication needed to do that, considering as to where I am and where I'm going to be. But we need that for everybody, in the sense of the person who's going to receive the benefit of the work is the person whose image is kind of engraved on this token. The token reflects two people. The worker is on one side, and then the beneficiary of the work is on the other side. So that's a transitor token's basic structure. It must have that structure in order to perform the function that we're talking about. It can't perform the function we're talking about without holding up an equal sense between the worker, their desire to work, the value they add, and somebody to receive the value. The coin is held by both people at the same time, simultaneously. The image of the coin and the idea that you can't hold it all by yourself, you can't be greedy with it, it's not possible to do that. The token only exists while being held by the two parties at once. So, a transitor coin is an implementation of the coin where we have gotten rid of somebody who's trying to hoard them and fuck with things and rig it and be a monopoly and all that other bullshit crust at the top of the consumerist bullshit that we've got. So there's a lot of current arguments about social programs, welfare, food stamps, basic income, and the debates about basic income. But I feel like once you multiply the concept of what a on-demand worker / on-demand service, like I need to get a fucking bag of snacks brought for my autistic children. I need that. I absolutely cannot be the one who goes and obtains that in most cases. I can't, because I am busy. I got shit to do. So I need somebody to do that. Absolutely, essentially. I need it. That's like a $5 vote. If I have $5, the money I was needing to spend on it is there as a consequence of the value I add to others. And the $5 vote is me sending that coin off to somebody myself out of my own money. And if we were to solve that $5 cost for me during the course of my going around, okay, that's a way to solve it. But you don't have to attach it to the work. When you do what's called inverted commerce, you attach it instead to the beneficiary of the work. You put income underneath at the bottom, and income buys work. So you can work backwards with the transitor to arrive at basic income, but I prefer to think about its implementation through the sense of gig work and task-based workers who absolutely do not serve a corporate brand or are on an employer payroll. They absolutely are not. And the only way to actually do that is functionally identical to the simplest possible premise of describing basic income. The tax that goes outward to the citizens, that's issued out to people after the government takes the dollars necessary to run its shit. But I think it's impossible to think about it as an implementation without having a program like the transitor, which says, come here, scan your fucking thing, and then you get the benefit. And if you spend it right here next to this particular station, guess what? It's like worth double or whatever, something like that. Something to make a meaning to where did you get it from. So can we get those businesses paid right there? Can we get those workers where you are paid for your presence there? And I think we've just described a democracy where all the possibility for contamination, corruption has been distilled out by the nature of the technology, by the financial tech. So I joined a Kickstarter called Commingle. for this specific hope, the specific hope that I have that we can, at this moment, using AI, basically implement the financial tech that it is to invert the commerce and put the income underneath the beneficiary instead of as a carrot on the stick in front of a worker who's getting fucking exploited. I'm so fucking furious with Starbucks and all of them right now. And so I think this topic is 100% relevant in that sense of those of us who have been pissed, like Bernie Sanders and the rest of them, who have been absolutely furious with what's happening to workers. Well, you've got to fix that by putting income underneath the beneficiary of the work, and then just let the workers get paid for their value, like in abundance. That's what you've got to do, or it's going to be fucked over real bad. And the amount of time I've spent doing this work and running through it and thinking about it is just, it's led me to these conclusions, and it's what I have to say about it right now, because my life is a complete joke, other than the fact that I have this value-adding activity to spend most of my time on. I think we can do this one, but I need to check the fucking destination. Let's just see how long this camera can run. Okay, yeah, we can do it. It's compatible with the destination I'm already going to, mostly. I'm gonna go in here and get the fucking order. I think Prism might be doing better with this phone's camera, but you know, it's only been 16 minutes. It usually crashes in the first 5 minutes, so we'll see. I usually broadcast on this old phone. I'm just switching over to it for the one I just picked up, just for simplicity organizing. Come on, computer, you little computer, do the fucking thing you're supposed to do and log into this shit. Now they're sending me another one on that app right now. I'll go over there and do that one, and I'll run a cancel on the one we just agreed to, since its destination is a little bit further out, so I'm gonna drop it. We've got outbid essentially by one that's worth about the same but is in a less problematic flow. But you only have a small window of time to decide that. If orders are ringing all at once, you can decide if you're able to thread them together or not, and decide which one to actually spend your time on. So I'm gonna sign off of this thing so it doesn't just ring nonstop, since I'm now running two places I need to get to. Also, I tend to start these and then unload a shitload of something to say, and then I have to stop talking. So that's what's gonna happen right now. But I've been doing these on Instagram, but then I recently took the Instagram out of private just now, and I've told my friends that my stream is a documentary of my life and nothing more. I'm just trying to show the truth of what this is, for fun, because it brings me clarity and mental peace, which I can't get any other way. I really can't. would have turned on the emergency blinker to do that in somebody's way. Fucking guy. Alright, so we need to grab a left turn right near that arrow is currently green for a left. But yeah, I'm like burnt. I'm burnt at the verbal part, so we're gonna go ahead and end the stupid commentary. That's all the stupid commentary that I got. And see if this phone won't freeze on us if I just drive without vibrating it too bad, because I think it's road vibration that's fucking the camera up. I'm sending it to Apple. Next time I go live from the computer playback in the rerun simulator, I'm going to just play the reels that look like this that I did this week and last week. Put them together and then eventually work back to some of the first ones on the other account that I made while I was experimenting. Just see how we do. Man, this would be cool if the Prism app wouldn't freeze in the camera, even though the other apps are having to freeze constantly. Yeah, I don't think that's very likely. I think it's just a hardware sensitivity in the fucking phone's motion computer. It is inherently getting fucked up by being bounced and vibrated and moved all the time. Just like, come on guys, you can't sell me a smartphone that has that problem when my entire life happens basically in motion like this. Well, the part of it that's valuable anyway. Sitting still, there's not much value. Yeah, only like 2 out of my friends have I even been able to convince to sign up for Kick and follow, even though it's free to do, and I've offered them $5 or $10 to get a beer or a coffee. I still have only gotten a few to make an account and visibly follow me. So we're at 20 out of 75 for getting verified. But I'm gonna close on this one. I'm gonna run through this because it auto changes. And it didn't take notes of the screen was coming up. Okay, this person I delivered to this person one time before, or else I was their across the street neighbor. But curious to see what Prism does when it crashes, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to save this VOD, so I'll have to salvage it off Kick if that happens, because I'm just sending this straight to Kick, not Restream. For a reason that the Prism app does so good with saving the VOD that I don't feel like I'm going to lose one, so this is actually the easiest one to not lose, so long as the app's not going to crash on me and the battery's not going to die. Battery's pretty charged, but I'm going to plug it in a second, because I'm running landscape, easy to plug in. 3208, so there's somebody behind me and I've got to get him off my tail in order to proceed. It is breaking the rule by moving the phone. It might be a consequence of how it's positioned that it's working so good, you never know. They're delivering instructions. Front door is directly on the left side. I carry this one with me for the picture. For the picture, my friends, a picture of the delivery. Delivering photo submitted. Okay, next we have the one I switched to instead of that other one picked up more like downtown from this steakhouse downtown that I do like picking up from, and they have nice and sometimes they have nice and attractive people in there handing me the orders. I like going there to interact with those magic beings. But that order was going off to another area that this one's going to, I like to go to better. Kind of up above the start point where I usually start. They were worth about the same amount of value, so I just didn't want to thread further up that side of the town during this part of this run. Here's the theory that holding the phone in landscape is somehow mitigating the main part of the problem. Perhaps the severity of the problem occurs mainly while the phone's sitting upright in portrait. I don't know, maybe. I never fucking know with these goddamn problems. That's the noise telling you to put your seatbelt on. It beeps like 100 times or something, maybe 200. It's a lot of beeps. Right, so here's the best way to get to our next food shop. Oh, right, and I'm going to plug this device in. Oh, I think it heating up while plugged in might be something that creates a problem too. I guess we can try that right now. We're going to learn about that right now when I plug this fucking shit in. But yeah, I've basically been doing this exact thing on Instagram with my other phones. I've advanced to the point that I think I like using this Prism app more than I like using Instagram to do it, so fuck it, we'll just go straight to Kick, and you'll see them on my YouTube and on my restreams afterwards. If you're watching it now, I'm not fucking logged into chat or nothing right now, and I have all chat turned off anyway, basically. I mean, I think it's on emote only, but if you're sending funny emotes, cool. I don't know if you are or if you aren't. You'll have to, find somewhere else to notify me at the moment. Turn this light. Which side of this phone did I actually park this at? Okay, good. The charger port's on the correct side, the way the phone's already facing. The cable's not plugged into my car plug at all at the moment. Gotta plug it in. Which I won't do unsafely while going 10 miles per hour over the posted limit right here. I definitely won't do it like that. Don't worry. Okay, the power is now plugged in. doesn't happen, then we'll know it's got something to do only with the horrendous Apple bug, which happens to be affecting all of the apps that I use, and most frequently the camera photo part of the work apps that I use. Both of them experience a problem when they try to launch a camera to take a photo of drop-offs. But my biggest suspect other than that for today's test has been like vibration and the motion hardware, the motion interacting hardware in the device seems to be the culprit. But if it's not actually the culprit and the culprit is power, plus a horrendous bug that is not actually something wrong, voltmeter detectable, then perhaps this app has already encountered the error and has already fixed it for this phones that are affected by it. And if they have, then that would tell me for sure that sending it to Apple is going to be useless, and I won't do that. I'll just stick to this app and then deal with the rest of it in a different way. Uptime right now is 33, or somewhere right around there, somewhere a little bit over 30. Should be some gnarly vibration to use this ramp, but I am not actually crossing any on-ramp lane splits here because I'm just going to come straight up the exit. I just used it to get from that center point to the Taco Bell over here. Well, maybe if I vanish from Twitch and from Restream for the entire time it takes for my VOD register to drop and for them all to be converted into highlights, maybe that will feel satisfying to me. And the Bob is not here since I started doing that because Twitch would basically lose my broadcast ingest after a 48-hour reset where it resets, and it would just not be streaming anymore, even though OBS would think I am still alive. And then it would get back on if I just left it alone, so I never had to actually do anything to get back on. I can see a notification for my kick either indicating that we've dropped and reconnected, but the nice thing is Prism keeps it going and keeps it as one VOD. So long as nothing crashes or kills the phone, I feel like we're going to recover that VOD for sure, and this will be out on YouTube, so you can listen to my dumb shit on YouTube. But I feel like we're going to lose the YouTube one. I feel like it's going to get lost because I don't believe this phone's going to not fail. I believe the phone's going to fail. I very strongly believe it. I'll be impressed if this thing runs a whole fucking kick stream and doesn't ever fuck up. I'll be really impressed and surprised, and I'll have learned something really, really significant about the bug, if so. Yeah, this angle's pretty high. It's kind of boring at night. But to make it any less severe than this, I got to put it back in the case, which is a whole different suspicion for why the problem's happening. This is functionally the first out-of-the-case test I've done at all in the landscape orientation. All the other tests I did with the phone were all in the case. The reason we're suspecting the case is due to its possible partial magnetization that was done by a really powerful magnet mount I was using with it. Of course, it was the magnet that company sold me for use with their cases, Dockham. But the case I like. It's nice for what it is. A case that allows me to cool the phone very efficiently. That's primarily what it is, what it was chosen for. I was supposed to be able to magnet mount it, but like, we've been troubleshooting a magnet as the culprit of the phone's problem for a minute, but I strongly disbelieve that at this point. Alright, here's the turn-in where we are going. Here's the turn-in where we are going. But yeah, to simulate that fall off for kick broadcasts, I just stop. And sometimes I want to stop from like the 25th of the month all the way until we get to the 7th or 10th of the new month. It's the 5th right now, or tomorrow is. Because of the end of the month expenses are so fucking expensive that it's like, That itself wouldn't overload me. It's drama in my life that does that. It's drama and stress that degrades my mental health. But the stream generally is a mental health grounding thing that lets me restore it. But I have to go do micro streaming. I have to just make small things and short streams during that time. So like I've got a bunch of broadcasts and recordings that I've made in the past 2 weeks that we're gonna watch soon. Taco Bell Baja Blast. Taco Bell wrappers. So I can clean them up so I don't crinkle them every 30 seconds into the stream audio. Yeah, uptime is 3850. So this isn't going to be perfect to what's seen on Kick, but let's use my good phone here to check Kick. Let's use my good phone to check Kick. Let's use my good phone to check Kick. Please leave in front of the door. Oh yeah, I delivered to this guy yesterday too. Nothing I like better than repeating delivering to the same customers who are nice customers. They never do anything shitty and they are giving me a tip beforehand. I caused the overheat while I was charging both phones earlier today. Perhaps I can avoid the problem. There's such a variety of suspects for this problem. I just don't even. This is the masterwork troubleshoot. Other than the drama in my life, this is the most intricate and interesting troubleshooting task I've ever taken on. This fucking camera in this little 5G device that was supposed to be the savior. This was supposed to be the chosen one. The Apple budget phone, 5G phone. Why? Simply on the fact that my non-5G similar Apple phone that this model is based on has outperformed every other budget phone I have bought, no matter what kind it was, no matter which way. It's been beaten by the Apple one, the older Apple one, in terms of performance and the way I use phones. Why am I doing this? Because I need to check my offers. Can I do that order? 8300 Vancouver Plaza. I don't want to go to that one. And I don't usually say Plaza that way. I just said it because I thought it was funny. Also, I don't usually say things at all, so my reality is not that language to begin with. I was born in a weird fucking neo-Christian scam cult who attempted to scam me, and I said, no, you fucks, you cannot scam me, especially not from birth. What the fuck are we even thinking? You cannot scam me this way. I'm leaving. That's what happened. I escaped the cult. And I can't claim in any amount to understand how to act like a person because of that, partially because of that. The reasons for that are complex and various. But among them, among the pillars which the particles are contained in, is that one. The neo-Christians, wackos who fucking tried to scam me from age 0. So yeah, don't try to accuse me of knowing how to be a person. I absolutely do not. I don't know. And that's part of why I say Bob is not real. He's not a real guy. He's not there. Jesus fucking God, he is not. He's made up, just like the deities in our head. Fuck that guy. Forget about him. He can go to hell. How do you make the phone stop ringing? Oh yeah, do not disturb. That's right. I should turn that on. Do not disturb me. I'm already disturbed enough without your help. Fucking stop. Here it is. I'm gonna leave it in front of the door. Right. .45 minutes uptime. Impressive. Alright, that's been delivered. Okay. Now let's check the stream using the other 5G phone, whose uptime says 12 minutes. I managed to make it into the podcasts category, which is kind of what I'm doing. But when I tried to get into the travel and outdoors category, it didn't work. It put me in something called music channels. I don't know why it did that. it still said I was in travel and outdoors when I went to change it, but all the VODs are tagged as music channels. Well, from that attempt. So yeah, this is the Bobcast. This is what this podcast is. And I'm gonna close this episode soon at exactly 60 minutes because the proper podcast runs for 60 minutes. And if you try to make one longer than that, fuck you! We gotta go to Walmart. That's what I'm gonna do with the last 15 minutes of this podcast. I need to go to Walmart and buy Tide because I have really, really messy laundry that I need to launder. And the rest of my life is so messy, it also needs to be laundered also. But there's no Tide for that. Fucking A. Charge this phone while this shit's charging if I don't trigger the whatever the electrical shit is that's creating the problem. It's possible that the charger's just overstressing it or something, and this high-powered charger I chose for its ability to power the fast chargers, the rapid chargers. It's possible that was a bad idea. If I'm able to see this problem be fixed and just not recur it, by just avoiding a couple little things that seem to be the aggravators of the problem, then I'm happy. That's how I've always used technology. I mean, we had fucking Windows 95. We had fucking Windows 98 and Windows ME, and we had fucking Windows Vista, although I never purchased a copy of Windows Vista. I did have it during my IT career of 9 years. I got Windows 7 Pro, though, when it came out. I mean, as soon as I found a cheap key for it. So it wasn't right when it came out, but I used Windows 7 on every PC that I built. Up until I bought Windows 10, which I got right when I started streaming in 2018. I'm gonna go to Walmart and buy some Tide. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna take the stream phone in. I'm just gonna show you the front of Walmart. It's working too well to compromise. I'm gonna unplug the power. Actually, now that the power's plugged in, I don't know about unplugging it. It's working beautifully well. The timer is now past how far we got on Instagram's test this morning. Through a combination of good fortune, pure happenstance, and whatever the fuck I'm currently doing right to create this Bobcast. Front of the Walmart we can look at for the last 5 minutes. I am literally not spending more than 5 minutes in here. If that turns out to not happen that way, it's because of somebody in my way, not because of anything that I deviated from that intention. It's because somebody was in my way if that happens. Alright, I'm just going to give this view. It's not really going to be of Walmart, actually. It's going to be a view of this tree. Pull into this parking space right here. In front of the tree. There you go. Welcome to tree. We don't need headlights to look at the street. There's enough ambient light. Do I need my wallet for this? Yes, I do. Where is it? Should be right here. Got it. probably too high to see the tide of the eternal energy I purchased. Alright, so that's the end of the show. Usually I don't say anything at the very end of the VOD. I just stop it after like 5 minutes of silence. I ain't doing that on this one because this one's a podcast. Bob is not real, so there's no stream. Don't watch it.